The admission committee of Stellar Ridge Academy had seen it all, or at least, that's what Commander Vrelk thought, before the application landed on his desk with a soft thud that somehow felt ominous. "Another human," muttered Jaxus, his third eye twitching as he scrolled through the data pad. Why do they keep applying here? Don't they know this is the most prestigious military academy in the quadrant? Vrelk's tentacles curled in what his species considered a shrug. The Treaty of New Geneva requires us to accept qualified candidates from all member species. Apparently this one scored perfectly on the entrance exams. Perfectly. Jaxus nearly dropped his data pad. That's impossible. The Korthan Empire designed those tests specifically so nobody could ace them. It builds character through failure, or whatever philosophical nonsense they spout. Well, somebody better inform this Maya Reeves that she broke their unbreakable system. Vrelk pulled up her file, and his main eye widened considerably. By the 6 moons of Teller, she's 16 standard years old. 16. Jaxus leaned closer, his scales shifting to a nervous purple. Most species don't even finish basic neural development until at least 25. Humans are barely conscious at 16. Vrelk clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. Her academic record is unusual. Expelled from 3 different human schools for, and I quote, unauthorized chemistry experiments, reprogramming the school's security system for fun, and my personal favorite, winning 2 aggressively at athletic competitions. Winning 2 aggressively. Jaxus blinked, all 3 eyes in sequence. What does that even mean? Apparently she broke a long-standing record in something called track and field, then proceeded to break her own record 6 more times in the same season. Because, according to the disciplinary report, she was bored and wanted to see how fast she could actually go. The 2 officers stared at each other for a long moment. "We're going to reject her, right?" Jaxus asked hopefully. "Because this screams trouble. With capital letters and possibly explosions." Vrelk's tentacles drooped in defeat. "We can't. She met every single qualification. If we reject her now, the human coalition will file a discrimination complaint, and I absolutely do not have the energy to deal with Ambassador Park again. That woman drinks something called coffee and doesn't sleep for days." "Fine," Jaxus growled. "But when this goes sideways, I'm putting it in writing that I objected." "Noted and logged," Vrelk replied dryly. "Welcome to Stellar Ridge Academy, Myra Reeves. May the cosmic void have mercy on us all." 3 months later, orientation day arrived with all the pomp and circumstance that 400 years of tradition demanded. The Grand Assembly Hall glittered with bioluminescent architecture that made even the most jaded species pause in appreciation. 1,200 cadets from 97 different worlds stood in perfect formation, their dress uniforms crisp and their expressions serious. Well, 1,199 stood at attention. One sat cross-legged on the floor, methodically working her way through what appeared to be a protein bar while reading something on her personal data pad. "Is that the human?" whispered Crix, a Voltorian whose species prided itself on military discipline spanning back 3 millennia. "Must be," replied Thena, her crystalline skin refracting light in Anxious patterns. I heard she arrived 2 days early. Hacked into the Academy's training, simulator systems, and ran every combat scenario we're supposed to complete over the next 4 years. That's a ridiculous rumor. She beat them all on the hardest difficulty while apparently eating something humans called pizza. Crix's antenna flattened against his skull. Oh, fantastic. We're going to die, aren't we? The dean of students, an imposing Korthan warrior named Brazik, who had personally fought in 17 planetary campaigns, strode to the podium, his 4 arms crossed in a gesture that had made grown soldiers reconsider their life choices. Cadets, his voice boomed across the hall with enough force to rattle windows. You stand here today because you represent the finest your worlds have to offer: intelligence, strength, discipline. Maya chose that exact moment to crumple her protein bar wrapper with a sound that somehow carried across the entire hall. Brazik's eyes, all 6 of them, locked onto her position. The temperature in the room seemed to drop 10 degrees. Cadet, he said with deadly calm, stand at attention. Maya glanced up, seemed to consider her options, then smoothly rose to her feet. She didn't bother moving to the formation, though, just stood there, hands in her pockets, looking vaguely interested. Cadet Reeves, I presume. That's me, sir. Her voice carried easily despite not being particularly loud. Sorry, did I miss something important? I was reading about the Korthan military doctrine of the 3rd expansion. Fascinating stuff, really, though. Noticed some tactical errors in the Battle of Crimson Nebula that probably could have been avoided with better communication protocols. The silence that followed could have been weaponized. Brazik descended from the podium with measured steps, each one clicking against the floor like a countdown. He stopped directly in front of Maya, towering over her by at least 3 ft. His combat. Watch the full video on my Spotify channel. Click the link in the description below.